It's time for Basecamp TV. Yeah! It's time for Basecamp TV. Let's tune in.
Hello, and welcome to Basecamp TV Lab. My name is Dr. Einstein, but that's pronounced Einstein, and I'm your lead scientist. Today, we're going to experiment with the idea of connection. To start, I'll need a hand.
That's what I'm here for. I'm Penny, the BCL lab tech and scientist in training. How can I help, Dr. Einstein?
I will need a hand.
Okay, I'm ready for anything. I've got beakers and test tubes and rock and soil samples.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about all that fancy schmancy sciencey stuff. I need your literal hand.
Oh, well, you're the boss.
Now, our hands have a connection. How would you describe it?
Well, according to the law of thermodynamics, the energy of our combined hands is creating a source of heat that is roughly 2 times the square root of 1. How would you describe it, Dr. Einstein?
A little bit sweaty. And wow, you've got a really firm grip.
Oh, I better write that down in my notes.
What we have now is a connection between our hands. But the kind of connection we want to talk about today is between our hearts. It's not a connection we can see like this.
Speaking of heart connections, scientists have found ways of measuring connections between people by what happens in our brains when we're together. When a baby sees someone smiling at them, the baby learns to recognize their face and to smile back. And when the baby smiles back, it releases chemicals in both of their brains that make them feel happier and healthier.
Is that a fact?
Honestly, the research is pretty amazing.
Well, of course it is. I was just testing you. And you passed with flying colors.
Oh!
So, moving on. What does God's word have to say about connection?
Oh, I did some research on this. In Genesis 1:27, it says that God created us in His own image. And in Genesis 2:18, God said it wasn't good for us to be alone. That tells us that God made us for connection. And there's more. In Jeremiah 30:22, God says, "You will be my people and I will be your God." See how God is talking about a special connection with Him? He's not just God, He wants to be your God. And together, we are His people. Boom! Connection.
Well, excellent research report.
If it's okay with you, Dr. Einstein, I took the liberty of creating a formula that I think explains this phenomenon. Fun over time equals connection.
Very interesting. Let's see. The time part is pretty obvious. It's hard to connect with someone if you don't spend any time with them at all. But what is so important about the fun?
Well, what we do with our time matters. We connect when we enjoy each other. Remember laughing, smiling babies? Those things create connections in our brains.
Okay, so if fun is so important, then let's define it. It's experiment time. I've got 2 jars. Fun things will go in this jar. I've labeled it fun. Boring things will go in this jar.
Oh, I bet that one's labeled inertia.
Don't overthink it, Penny. Not fun. Now, let's add things to each jar using the molecule generator 3000. We'll start with the not fun side. Here's an easy one. How miserable would it be if your family went to the beach together? Hours baking in the hot sun, sunscreen burning your eyeballs, sand everywhere. It'd be impossible to connect. Not fun.
But Dr. Einstein, lots of people enjoy the beach. In fact, a day at the beach with your family is what some people would call very fun. So the sand should go in this jar.
Okay. Well, what about this? Playing games like Monopoly. Fun. Whew.
I'm going to have to respectfully disagree again. Board games take so long, and I hate losing.
Okay, well, here, why don't you try to think of something that's fun for everyone?
How about baking? Mmm, delicious. And fun too, right?
Well, it's just that baking feels kind of like a lot of work for something you can just buy at the grocery store. Let's see what we can make of this experiment. All right, so here we have a mixture of things that are fun and a mixture of things that are not fun. And they look disgusting.
They also look exactly the same. We put the same stuff in each jar, remember?
You're right, Penny. It's a paradox. This experiment is getting us nowhere. Let's just throw it all out and try something else.
Wait. Before you throw it out, there's an important discovery to be made here. I conclude that fun can be different for everyone. What's fun for you may not always be fun for me. And part of connection is trying to find what we have in common. But it may also mean taking some time to do something that's fun for someone else.
Excellent conclusion, Penny. I have trained you well. Well, we have made a fantastic discovery here today. And given the findings, does this mean that you'll play Monopoly with me?
I can handle one game because the connection is worth it. And then beach day?
You got it. Connection.
Connection. It's all about fun over time.